All right. Here we are again. It's another episode of what you long for and what you wait for every week from the margins with James Safant, local Central Florida attorney, D DNC FDP official. Welcome, Jimmy. Welcome back. Welcome, everyone. How are you, Jimmy?
I am fine. I am very happy to be here with you. And I'm going to beg those of you who watch this program for the national content to bear with me. We have here a local issue that we're going to start with, which is the challenges to the rules of boundary. Let me explain to you, those of you who do not live in Orange County, the most beautiful county in all of Florida, the most liberal county in all of Florida. We have what we call the CRC, which is the Citizens Review Commission, that basically every 4 years meets and makes recommendations as to amendments to the charter. This last time around, one of them was the rule boundaries.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to first talk as an attorney, and then I'm going to talk as a politician. The ballot was it was put on the ballot. It was written. It was approved by the county attorney's office. By the way, they did not say that it was written incorrectly or that there was something that was not clear or anything. It was put on the ballot. It was not challenged by anybody. Okay, saying, "Hey, this cannot be at the ballot," or no, it was put on the ballot, and it passed by over 75% of the people who voted for it voted in favor of the rural boundaries, which
Right.
basically says how Orange County is going to be developed in the future. And basically, it also says that for any changes to the master plan or for any changes of approval of development, it has to be approved by a supermajority, which is right now, today, 5 out of 7. It's not four. That will be a simple majority. Okay, 4-3 is a simple majority. It has to be 5 today. Okay, the state of Florida and its thing of power in controlling the local governments and in violation of the Florida Constitution. And let me explain why I say the Florida Constitution, because the Florida Constitution says that the local governments shall run the game and that the state of Florida can only emanate a law when it is necessary to be for the good of the whole state. Not sure how this lawsuit would come in. There is a mention by the the mayor's attorney saying that he is going to rush into a rush meeting and tell the commissioners they have to take this down because there's a possible suit coming from Tallahassee.
Right.
Realistically, I'm going to be more informative than the county attorneys because he's always like to not notify his citizens what he's doing. I'm not sure if they're challenging the law based on saying that it did not, that there was not significant advice to the people. Two, that is not clear, or that it even takes away citizens' rights. Okay, or that is in conflict with an existing Florida statute. We
Okay.
don't know exactly where they're coming from.
Okay.
All we know is that our county attorney or mayor's attorney, who's always been famous of being petrified of litigation, would is trying to go to the county commissioners and asking them to take down this ballot. Now, this presents 3 legal problems. One, this was not voted by the county commissioners. This was voted by the citizens of Orange County.
That's correct.
Can the Board of County Commissioners override override a citizen's decision? Legally, I'm not clear if they can.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this. And if they could, I think the courts would say, well, there has to be some imminent damage to people or imminent danger or not. Otherwise, let me explain to you, county attorney, what the law does say and what case law does say. You have a duty to defend. Okay? What does a duty to defend? Well, most people are going to say, well, you have a duty to defend other things. No, you have a duty to defend the decision of the citizens of Orange County who passed this amendment. Got to say that again. County attorney, in case you did not go to law school and learn this, you have a duty to defend what the residents of Orange County decided. Second challenge that I find interesting. This is kind of interesting. The rule of rural boundaries says that all decision in reference to the rules of boundaries must be done by a super majority, which would mean
Okay.
5 out of the current 7.
Okay.
Okay. Which would mean that you would have to have at least 5 commissioners vote in favor of taking down what the citizens of Orange County decided last year.
Correct.
Now, I'll go into the politics later, but my numbers, I cannot think of 5 people voting to take it down and expecting to have any political future in this county.
Mm. It's
But
a strong
okay,
statement.
it is a strong statement. Then there's the third. Look, the reason the state is threatening is because it knows that the office of the county attorney or mayor's attorney has always been gutless, afraid of litigation,
Mm.
and caving into it. In 2021, Osceola County sued Orange County illegally. Okay? Went for an injunction, and the county attorneys of Orange County was, we want out of this. We're going to let the people of the CRC defend us because, okay, it's not yet a part of the CRC. And that, but
Hmm.
bear with me, it's not part of the CRC, so we don't have a duty to defend because it's not part of the CRC yet, so we don't have a duty to defend. It's a ballot initiative. Well, the rules of boundary is no longer a ballot initiative, it is the CRC. It has passed. It is now law. So you do have a duty to defend. And just could have used their
Right.
own words against them. Now, the third part that they have a problem with is as follows. Because they got pissed off with some people going there and criticizing, and because some of the people there have a very thin skin, about 5 months or 6 months ago, they decided to cut the public comments from 3 minutes to 1 minute.
Right.
This issue is too delicate and too important to come up with a bullshit that people are going to be able to talk 1 minute about the rules boundaries. If they push that through and make that could be a challenge. The second thing,
Wow.
and this part legally, they're rushing this. They're calling it a 911. There's an emergency. We need to deal with this immediately. We cannot give this 60 or 90 days. We cannot do any studies. We cannot check out into the law. We need to do
Right.
it now.
Right.
This, other than this program, I'm not sure. I've listened to Channel 2, Channel 6, and Channel 9. None of them are discussing this. I've been looking through this Sentinel, excuse me. That was the first step. I shouldn't have said that. But then remind me to give you a joke about the Orlando Sentinel. Uh, it is, to this point, there has been no notice in any newspaper, in any media, in any place saying, we're going to discuss this. There's a lot of ignorance out there. Okay.
There is. There
Okay.
is.
So they're going to just try to come in and push it through and get it through. Now, have said that, let's go into some other aspect. I made a comment a few minutes ago saying that anybody who votes to take this down will be committing political suicide. Look, you might think that I aim somebody who doesn't understand Orange County's politics. Almost 20 years ago,
Okay.
to be more exact, exactly 12 years ago, okay, a commissioner here decided that he was going to ignore his constituents,
Okay.
that he was going to vote for a development
Yeah.
that the people in his district were adamantly against, okay, adamantly against. And an unknown person came and said, I'm going to run against him.
Right.
An unknown campaign manager to this area, maybe to other areas in the great state of Illinois, but not in this area, came and run a successful campaign in which they were outspent 100 to 1,
Yes.
and it wasn't even close. Okay?
That's correct.
You people who sit on the chair of the Orange County Commission, I'm going to say this in plain English, don't screw with the environmental vote here. If you screw with the environmental vote and decide that you want to run for a re-election or want to run for mayor, you don't have a
Mm,
chance. You're going to pay a heavy price. Look, I'm going to go. That was Ted Edwards,
that's
the
correct.
baby of the developers. The developers spent every money they could on him because he was their biache. Okay, and we all know that. Two, let's then go to 2000. After him, they brought in Mike Miller, another
That's correct.
biache of the developers, to run against that one-time incumbent who was not that popular. Most of the employees of Orange County hated her with a passion. Let's not pretend.
That's
She
correct.
paid them again. Okay. Uh, During that same election, there was an incumbent in District 1 who the developers love because it is her fault and a couple of other people's fault that right now District 1 is overdeveloped, majorly, is overdeveloped more than any other district in this county. Okay. And she was proven that she was anti-environmental, that she was profiting in her and her family from all this development, and she outspent her other person who's now an incumbent 50 to 1. She didn't go
Yeah.
that and because she didn't see a chance for her opponent to win, because her opponent was an environmentalist, and serious people don't vote for environmentalists. Unfortunately, what she didn't
Yeah.
realize is the people that she had sold properties and built houses in her district were pissed off with her because of all the inconvenience. Okay,
Right.
that she created. She was voted out. Come 2024, developers go and find Mr. Austin in District 1 and the mayor of Winter Park in District 5. And they spend megabucks. District 1 was closed. District 5 wasn't.
Yeah. It was a blowout.
Yeah, particularly for money that he spent. And he had name recognition. Okay, so people, county commissioners, who are sitting and making this decision, you know who I am. I'm not anti any of you. Most of you, I call you on your first name basis. But let
Yeah.
me give you some words of wisdom. If you vote to take down the rural boundaries that was passed by the citizens of Orange County, your political future in Orange County is done. If you're thinking that in the future you want to work for mayor, It's not going to happen. If you're thinking that might want to run for re-election,
Oh, tough.
you could have a hell of a problem, because once a person runs against you and said that you are anti-environmental because you voted to turn down what the citizens of Orange County put into law, you are doomed.
Hmm.
The other thing I would say in the campaign, I'm not going to make it very easy. You fail to defend the decision of the citizens of Orange County, and by this, you have done it. Look, if the state of Florida wants to sue us, welcome enough. That means we're doing our job. Hey,
Right.
yeah, Rubio stole that from somebody else, for the record. Uh, he wasn't the first one to say it. But don't give in to an idle threat. Don't.
Right.
Please, I will be there that day, and I will tell you in very clear terms that if you vote to put down what the citizens of this county voted in, your political days are over. I don't. Yeah, you look. I reach a point that you all know me, and most of you would be told, anybody who's seriously running in this county, if you want to win, you might want to talk to Jimmy Afan. You might want to get a check from Jimmy Afan, and you might want to listen to Jimmy Afan because he understands Orange County politics.
True. That's very true.
And I'll tell of the people who are sitting in that county right now. I'm going to say this: of the six commissioners, four I have helped.
That's true.
You
That
know
is
who you
very
are,
correct.
and you know who you are. The
Yep.
two that I haven't helped, one has not asked me for help, and the other one, to be quite honest, I decided to stay out of that race for reasons that we all know.
Right.
So
Right,
at
Jimmy.
this, at this point, my advice is to you: defend the decision of the citizens of Orange County. You have a duty to defend, and I implore it. But most important, I defy you to take down the rule boundaries law without having a supermajority, because
Hmm.
that would be in conflict to the standards of it. And even though the county attorney is going to try to convince you you don't need to follow it for that, uh, use that as your good excuse, with all due respect, to keep your political career going. Okay, enough about the
I,
rule
I,
boundaries.
I do want to ask you this, or at least put this out there, Jimmy. Is this is not the first time that this board, this commissioner board, and the mayor has been in a situation where Tallahassee has said one thing, however, Orange County has had done another. Split Oak, the situation with the Split Oak mitigation forest. The county decided to move forward with their refusal to allow a toll road to go through Split Oak Forest in the southern part of the county. Are we looking at similar circumstances or no?
We're looking at a little bit of different circumstances. The
Okay,
concern that they have in Tallahassee is two part. One, they hate Orange County because we're liberals. So let's stop pretending that they like us.
sure,
But if you wait long enough, by January of next year, with all due respect, we could have a new governor. Who
right,
is it going to be? Is it going to be Thompson, or is it going to be somebody else? We don't know.
right,
But at this point, is they going to make it a priority pissing off Orange County, or they're going to make it a priority to serve the citizens of Florida? I don't know.
right.
That's one thing. The other thing is reality is that there are people that let me tell you the strategy here that a lot of people don't understand. The developers have been trying for the last 20 years to take back control of the county commission,
That's correct, sir.
and they haven't. They only have one commissioner, well, really two commissioners who are pro developers, and we all know who they are.
Right.
They could try to pretend, but well, one doesn't even try to pretend. One is so pro developer that she, yeah, and I say she because, with all due respect, the only other commissioners that say he rarely comes into these arguments. That okay, have said that they have said, well, we're not going to we put money to get these people elected, and we lose al- always. We're getting nowhere. So maybe we might want to go to Tallahassee and buy politicians up in Tallahassee to threaten to do this.
Hmm.
You know, that's fine. That's fine. So at this point, it's going to be interesting. And I know I'm going to piss off the office of the county attorney. And you know something? I don't give a shit. I
So
really
be
don't.
it.
So be it.
Yeah. Jimmy, one more question in regards to the rural settlement. Does the decision that Orange County is making here, does that have any other uh, repercussions for other counties like Seminole County, where they do have an established rural settlement?
No, because Seminole is Republican. The Republicans are not going to attack Republicans. They're attacking us because we're Democrats.
Okay.
But it will have a all repercussion that it is the last three times that the county has either been sued by another county or by the state of Florida. Their response is to cave in. And I'm going to give you an example. Bullies
Okay.
function because you're afraid of them. And the reputation that Orange County has of being afraid of litigating is is statewide. And it's scary because the repercussion is going to say, okay, don't worry, just threaten to sue them and they'll give you whatever you want.
Hmm.
And that is the repercussion that I'm concerned about. Look, where you and I come from, you go down with a fight.
Yeah. Period.
And, you know, and what bothers me is that this is going to show to the people of Orange County, hey, gather signatures. Hey, go out and vote. Hey, that means shit.
It's a good point. That's a very good point. If you're going to put in all that work, all that sweat equity, and the commission says, well, Tallahassee is saying one thing, we might as well acquiesce to their demands. People want to see their government, their elected officials, to fight for them. So I see your point, Jimmy.
You know, and this was not done by them. Look, if they had done this and then they screwed up and said, let us straighten out, I don't have a problem with this.
Hmm.
We did this. We voted for this. We went
Right.
out to vote for this. The CRC put together all this. And it took them some serious time. And I know some people who are in that CRC who would be very offended if they just cave in this easy.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Very good point.
Now let's go to the national issues and the national things that are happening. Ah,
Well, immigration is always coming up, Jimmy, and despite Florida being a border state, uh, Governor DeSantis has definitely um, made sure that Florida is in the conversation about immigration policy enforcement. And so Governor DeSantis has directed local law enforcement, well, the Florida FDLE, to cooperate. The local sheriffs encourage them to cooperate with ICE agents. And also, there's a deal in the works to here in Orange County and other sheriff departments to actually transport illegal migrants from local jails to Alligator Alcatraz. And speaking of Alligator Alcatraz, we recently had um, state representatives, the senators, go to Alligator Alcatraz and was allegedly refused entry to observe the conditions and report back to their constituents and the rest of the state and the nation. Um, Boy, do we have an issue with immigration here in Florida. What's your take on all this drama?
Drama, created drama.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I say created drama, and I'm going to prove
Yes.
my point. Do you know who's pissed off with the immigration procedure in the United States?
Who, Jimmy?
Stephen Miller.
Yes.
And you know
This,
what? He's pissed off because all these things we're creating Alcatraz, uh, alligator Alcatraz. We're doing this. We're doing raids. We're telling the sheriffs that we're telling the FDLE. We're telling the numbers are no way.
hmm
According to Stephen Miller, not me. I'm not making this up. Stephen Miller, the Hitler of the United States, the Nazi of the United States, he is pissed off with all of them saying that the numbers are not sufficient. And if you really want to be
yes.
honest, they're not. Why? Well, you have two problems. One, where I come from, they say that if you advise me of something, I'm not going to get shot. So if you're going to tell me I'm going to kill you, there's a good
Right.
chance you're not going to because I'm going to take precautions. Well, what does that have to do with immigration? Uh, right now, instead of standing up in front of Home Depot, and this is something that everybody knows,
Yeah.
uh, uh, that they would sit there and get. Now you go there and you might find three or four people
Yes.
there, and they're all African American, and they won't touch them. Uh, what is happening is differently. Now they're driving around and they see a construction site and they approach and say, "Hey, yeah, we need six carpenters. Okay, here we are. Here's our information. Start working." Okay, so instead of going to Home Depot, now they're going to have to go to different projects,
Correct.
uh, which they have tried. I recently put in a new roof in my house, and those of us who put roofs, you have to go and get a permit.
That's correct.
Permit takes at least 5 or 6 days, which would tell ICE, well, maybe let's go there. Uh,
Mm,
then the inspectors go 3 times, and you get your final permit, and everything is good, and then you're ready to go. Hey! Okay, have said that, the numbers are horribly down.
yes.
Why? Because people are hiding them. Why? Because people, it was not as simple as they thought. Hey, we'll go to all the Hispanic restaurants and we'll arrest everybody, put them in and send them back, and then ask questions later. No, it doesn't work that way because this is, I don't know if you've ever seen George Lopez, but this is true. I've always found this fascinating in this country. There's a Taco Bell in the corner of Orange, excuse me, the corner of University and Seymour.
Okay. Yeah. What? Yes. 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 On the
Across the street is a Chipotle.
southeast.
Okay,
Uh huh.
you walk in there. There's only two kinds of people who work there. One, African American. Two, white. The joke of George Lopez, no self-respecting Mexican will work in Taco Bell and put out that shit. Okay.
So
Now, if you want
that's
to
the
find them,
George Lopez
if you want to
before
find them, you
we.
have to go to other restaurants and find them. Or like the other day, I was in the Sony's and I passed by. You pass by where the kitchen is, and everybody in there was talking Spanish and cursing off. I'm going, that's great. I'm in Florida in a barbecue place, and the people who work in the kitchen are all Mexican, but that's okay. Uh,
The best food.
so do it? No. So it is interesting. As a matter of fact, now that you bring that up, do you know that Tyson Company is leaving the United States?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Tyson Chicken?
Yeah,
They're leaving the United States, Jimmy.
they're going to Mexico.
Wow, they're if not the Titan, along with Purdue, one of the Titans in the poultry business, and they're leaving the United States.
Yeah,
And I think I know why. It's because the labor force that they were using were individuals who were not documented, and now that they're losing their labor force, there
they'll go
are
get legal. They'll go to Mexico where they get legal. They put them in a freezer truck and it's
correct.
in here, and it could be distributed the whole United States. Uh, the concept of let's get rid of them is unique, but it's not working. Again, I'm not going to use anybody else other than Stephen Miller. The numbers are not there.
Right.
Why? Because they thought it was going to be really easy and that they were going to be shooting down deer. I don't know. Have you ever hunted deer at night?
No, I have not.
Okay. Deer in this state, it's illegal to use a flashlight and blind a deer and to hunt them. It's illegal.
Okay.
Uh, and the thing was, well, you just shine them and they just freeze and we take them away. That's not the. It doesn't work for people. People
Okay.
know. People are smart enough, uh, and basically, uh, the government doesn't have the manpower. It does simply doesn't. Look, if you took all the deputies from Orange County, give me just numbers, okay? All the deputies, and you go and say we're going to go to every construction site that has a permit in Orange County. Just take our county. I'm not going to go to the United States. They would touch daily 1/10 of all the construction sites.
Mm,
Why? Because in construction sites, you're talking new roofing, you're
correct.
talking new plumbing, you're talking I am what you would call it reupholstering or putting new windows. All those things would take a tenth. And basically, it's not fine. And if you do that, then the ones that are criminals here, you can't find. The problem is that basically, what they what ICE has been doing for the last 25 years is okay. David Washington has an order of deportation. David Washington, we got to do a search. We got him. We deported him. This thing of let's go up and just do blank out of the pull out of our ass, people who speak Spanish and throw them is not working. As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting, but right now Delta and United have
Right.
invested more than 200 million to open new flights between Mexico and the United States. It's a new thing. So the
Wow.
question is it going to fly? No. What is DeSantis trying to do? He's a great magician.
Hmm.
Let me ask you a question. In 2024, when he was going to run for president, and in 23, he passed laws eliminating everything that had to do with woke.
Right. That's correct.
What woke laws did we have in Florida? None. This has been controlled for the last 50 years by the Republican in the House and the Senate. There's no woke laws to do. What they,
Exactly.
he took
It
our
was
books. He took our books out of libraries, books that like Roberto Clemente, who complained in his book that he was discriminated because he
right.
was black.
Right.
Whoa! Did he? Was that a lie? No. Did it happen? Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, did you see the movie about Jackie Robinson? Yes, the first African American. Did he stay in the same hotel with the white players? Did he eat in the same place with the white players?
Nope.
Did he even use the same bus? No.
Yeah.
Did Roberto Clemente put that because he was the first black Puerto Rican baseball player that went to Pittsburgh, and that he because he came from Puerto Rico did not understand the concept of the Green Book. He didn't. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are too young and too ignorant about what is the Green Book, yes, it was a movie, but it was also a guide that African Americans used 40s, 50s, 60s, and up to the 70s. Let's stop pretending. To go to places where they know they will be welcome. And with big advisements, don't go around here because you might end up in the hospital. Okay? That
Mm.
was the Green Book. To Roberto Clemente, that was a shock. That if he had $10 and wanted to go into a steakhouse and buy a steak, he could not do that. Guess what? I hate to break the news to all of you. That was true. So his book was banned in Florida because it complained about what they consider DEI.
Right.
The strange thing is that even now, using the computer in the Pentagon, they removed the name of the plane that threw the bomb in Hiroshima, the Enola Gay, because it had the word gay.
Oh my! This is going too far, Jimmy.
It is.
And DeSantis, played into that woke garbage as a major point of his campaign, and it was garbage. And he thought that it was something that would stick with the broader electorate. And say this, DeSantis, that is not what people are worried about. Maybe he's worried about it, but not the larger electorate. And now to hear this, that's just really sad, Jimmy. That really is sad.
So the problem here is this. Look, right now, I'm going to go and say this in a very respectful way. The most Republican state in the United States, which one would you call it? David, I'm going to defy you. Which would you call the most Republican state of the United States?
Okay. I'm going to go with Jimmy, the most Republican I would think would be either Alabama or Mississippi.
No,
Really?
no.
Hmm.
Number wise, no. Now, voting wise, maybe, but then you have to understand that Alabama and Mississippi put together don't have the same amount of congressmen that the state has.
Oh,
Or, like I
okay.
like to joke about it, the Republican California.
You know something, Jimmy? That's correct. When you look at the raw numbers and California being the
But
most
I
populous,
call it, I call this state the Republican California. California is the biggest blue state, no question.
no doubt.
And this is the largest in congressmen, okay, and voters and everything, and consistently Republican.
That's true. That's true. Good
Okay.
point.
Do you know which state that is?
Uh,
It's not Florida.
it's not Florida, no doubt. No, no, not
Now it's
Florida.
in the South.
It's not in the South.
It's in the South.
Oh, it is in the South. So
And
I would.
I'm gonna give you a hint just to make you to force you into the decision. It's a border state.
It's a border state. Then I'm going to have to say Texas.
Texas has more congressmen than Alabama and
Yeah,
Mississippi put together. It's
that's
a
correct.
it's a bastion of republicanism. Let's not even pretend that it's not. Uh, okay, why do I bring up Texas? Because the governor of Texas has had a hard time this week, and he made a response that was very politically wise. Christina, the beauty queen, the incompetent, the moron. Um,
Homeland Barbie.
okay, who ordered that all contracts with FEMA and Department of Homeland Security over $100,000 had to be put on our desk to approve. Now that sounds like something that
Right.
it's more than close to 6 million contracts of that small amount.
6 million contracts.
And when I'm talking about anything over $100,000, let's understand this. It's not only those of 100,000. If you have a
Okay.
contract for 6 million, it's going to be in her desk. If you have a contract for 200 million, it's going to be in her desk. And if you
Okay.
have a contract to provide, uh, and I'll give you an example, in Texas to pick up the debris, and your contract is for $150,000 to help pick up the trees and
Right.
take them away. Okay, small
Oh
contract
boy.
has to be approved by her. Now, why would Jimmy Afam bring this up? Because that has caused a delay in Texas. Because there's a lot of people who are waiting to take their dumpsters, put them back in the truck, go and pick up debris, but they would like to know that they're going to be paid. I don't think that's unreasonable. They would like to
Right.
know that they have a contract. I don't think that's unreasonable. It's me.
Right.
She has not approved most because she's been taking pictures and being on Instagram asking the residents of the great state of South Dakota, where she comes from, which of the three photos should she use as her past governor of that state. It took her 3 days to deploy the search and rescue division of FEMA. 3 days. Now you can say, well, she was being cautious. No, 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 no.
Right.
Okay, and when asked to the chief in the White House about this, he says, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about because she was the first person that I saw on Fox TV talking about what they were going to do.
Right.
Uh, Talking is not resolving problems. Okay, I'm here talking. I don't resolve problems. I give comments, but I don't resolve problems. She didn't. So at this point, the, and why is this group so important? This has been 3 days that we do not have a didn't have a group of people going down to Texas to look for. We still have 166 people
Yeah.
unaccounted for as recording this program, unaccounted for, which because of the time that has passed are presumed deceased. So there's this group will be looking for their bodies to bring it to their family to have closure.
Correct.
Uh, FEMA has not deployed any of its emergency things down there because basically she has not authorized it. And when asked, Governor Abbott said that yes, there's been some delays, but that the government, instead of just wasting money, is being cautious. This is a type of emergency where you're not cautious, where you, if you overspend or you go overboard, you're doing your job. But
Yeah.
have said that, this is where nationally we're having a problem.
Okay.
You have a moron in charge of the FBI whose Hall of Fame is doing what I do now right now, talking bullshit on a podcast. That was his Hall of Fame. His second in command is another podcaster. Okay,
Yes. Fine.
and it's kind of difficult because they have lost all credibility with the Republican podcasters because they came and said that there's no client list in the Epstein case.
Yes.
The guy from InfoWars cried on his throne. You know that?
I,
He could not believe that Donald Trump and his administration let him down. Tucker Carlson said that's a bunch of crock of bullshit. And I
right.
can
Right.
keep on going on this. I always thought it would be something different that would create this much of a division within the MAGA nation. Now, I'm not going to call the Republicans. I'm going to call the MAGA nation.
It is MAGA. Yeah. It's no longer the Republican Party. You're right.
Okay, it is the division of saying, hey, for years, you told us
Yep.
that there was an Epstein list, that there was a Biden cover up, that he was killed by the Biden administration to hide his everything because Bill Clinton was on that list, Prince Andrews was on that list, and by the way, nobody mentioned that Donald Trump was on the list, but that was the only person
Hmm.
who mentioned it. By the way, was Elon Musk. In fairness, there was
Right.
somebody who did, so I'm not going to say nobody did because Elon did. And now all of a sudden, he died he committed suicide, which is what the Democrats said, what the Biden administration said, and that there was no clients list. So basically, Pam Bundy has said that what the administration of Gorsuch, Department of Justice under Biden said was true and correct. After she went to Fox and said, "No, on my desk I have the clients list. On my desk I'm reviewing that file." With all due respect to everybody, this is creating a division among the MAGA. But,
It's true.
it's
It's true.
okay. I would think that the fact that Canada has decided to sell all its aluminum to Europe and Africa and not the United States because of the tariffs, because the Canadians told us to go fuck ourselves, and so the rest of the world, when we decide to put tariffs, that they're not going to be bullied, you know. Hey, Orange County, learn from the rest of the world. When you try to bully me, up yours. So that's what you need to tell Tallahassee.
Right. Right.
Okay, just say. Okay, but this is the most interesting thing that we have right now. Is that basically, I was always going to thought that it would be the division as to who's going to succeed Trump. Would be a
Okay.
division as to even the one that was 2 weeks ago, that there are people in the MAGA world that don't want us to get involved in wars, and they did not appreciate the bombing. And by the way, it's kind of interesting. They did not appreciate that the president was saying we're going to help Ukraine again because
That's
to them that was them getting involved in a war. Okay,
that's
uh,
correct.
I thought that might be it. No, it's Epstein. It's the saying that the conflict that war Infowars was talking about. The scandal that was being taught by who now is the director of the FBI on his
Mhm.
podcast. The, the Epstein thing that was being every day mentioned on the second in command of the Epstein
Yeah.
program,
That's
of
right.
Joe Reagan and all those others are now being told, no, guys, you're wrong. There's no scandal. Hamilton, Hamilton, I mean, Hannity also was always talking about. Ingrid was always talking about. The
Right.
people in Fox were always talking about. And now all of a sudden they've been told, no, 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 that's a lie. The truth is that he hanged himself and that basically there's no client list. Uh, there is a concern that there is a client list among them and that Trump is on it. And I heard somebody say this, which blew my mind. I can't remember which one was it, uh, but this was the gist of it. Look, we
Okay.
know that Trump is a pervert. If he's on the list, it's not going to bother us. But tells the other Democrats that are on it. Uh, it appears that this is dividing the nation. So it's going to be an interesting thing. So, Democrats, the big bad bill, and they're giving tax breaks to the rich, and they're
Yeah.
calling it permanent because unless a new Congress comes in which the House and Senate and the Senate are controlled by a party called the Democrats, which nobody sees that in the first future, you can then take them down.
Right.
And, and really, look, it's only 3%. It's no big deal. The big deal is that you're cutting down your income and you're increasing your spending, and you have no way to pay for it. The
Right.
problem is
Right.
that next year, when people are kicked off Medicaid, how are they going to respond to that? And that was the stupid part because it enters into next year just before the elections.
Well, I understand that it kicks in after the midterms.
No,
So it is before, just before the midterms.
The midterms are in November.
Right. Of next year.
Yeah. It
Right.
enters into effect like every other federal law on July 1st.
Man. And it makes you think, if that's the case, then this gives the opposition, ammunition to go after, the MAGA party and say, hey, you guys are going to suffer. It's one thing to talk about it now, but to have evidence of that and let people know you are suffering now. It's a year later and you are suffering now. You're going to suffer in the future because this is going to be the way it's going to be. And of course, the Republican Congress is saying, we're just, getting rid of the fraud, the waste, so forth and so on. However, different senators and representatives have already stated this number of citizens or this number of recipients are going to lose coverage. This number here, this number there. Um, what what would be the effective message for the opposition?
Look, they're counting on something that I don't think most people understand. They're
Mhm.
counting on the two Trump factors. One, no, there's a 42 to 43% of this country that no matter what Trump does, they're going to vote for him.
That's true.
That's
That's
scary.
true.
Okay. And the second part of the Trump factor is if you oppose Trump and say something that he does not like, he'll take you out. So basically, those are
That's
the two
true.
things.
That's true.
What are they going to say? They're counting on Trump going out to campaign for them. They know they
Right.
cannot in good faith. And they're counting, and this is the other part that we don't want to talk, that the Democrats don't do an effective campaign. Look,
True.
the Democrats have to kind of come out of the 18th century saying, hey, uh, we're going to be the honest party. We're going to be the straightforward party. No, no, no. Look, you want to talk about things? Tyson closed down. That's 5,000 jobs that left.
Damn.
Right now, all other industries that sold to Canada are letting people off because Canada is now buying our products. Hey,
Right.
right now, if you want the tin foil for the turkey that you're going to put in the turkey for Thanksgiving,
Right.
it came from Canada. And now, last year you paid $2.50 for the big thingy. Now you pay $10. Who you want to? Who you want to? That's your people. Uh, you want to take some flowers to your uh, to, 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 to your families at the cemetery. If you haven't gone, I would invite you to go Dollar Tree. Now the little bouquets that used to be $1.25 or $1.75. Okay. As a matter of fact, somebody joked when I was in five and below. I said, "Hey,
Yes.
hey, you need to change the name here now. What? 10 and below. Okay, because what used to cost five now is 10. So
Yes.
yes, who you who are you going to blame? The government in power. Did this
Right.
happen under the Biden administration? No, it happened under uh,
The
the
Trump
man who said
administration.
he could fix everything. He could take care of the economy. He was going to solve the war in Israel.
Ukraine.
And for the
Yeah.
record, as the today that we're discussing, Israel bombarded Hamas. Oh, not Hamas. I apologize to all of you. It bombarded Palestine,
Yeah. That's
and there was some kids killed in the process. Okay,
mm,
that's beside the point. So for those of you who think there's still a ceasefire, and the first people to break it was Israel. It had to be
damn.
one or the other. Israel said that they were provoked because there was some movement of Hamas troops. I'm not sure about that one because
Right.
when they bombarded was about 100 some miles away from the border with with Israel. So I'm not sure, but there, in respect of everything, there's no longer a ceasefire. Now, with
So close.
this, with this, let's go to the two fucks of the week.
All right. Here we go.
Last week I started with the Democrats, so this week I'm going to start with the Republicans.
Let's go with
Well,
the Republicans first.
yours is very simple, and I hate to say this. Yours is very simple. You have been cutting funds eliminating FEMA as saying to everybody that the states are going to have to be responsible for their internal disasters.
Okay.
Not every state has what you would call a, uh, as urban development research group that goes out there, knows how to look for bodies, knows how to position, has the equipment to go over and be able to uh, find the heat of a body or something like that to find
Right.
where bodies might be. Not every state has that. Today, we're discussing not politics, but that there's still a week after this disaster, 166 people who have not been found. And there's equipment who can help them, which is in the hands of the federal government.
Yeah.
Cutting funds for emergencies don't make sense. And I'm advocating for the great state of Texas, which I have visited, which I have lived, which I served the United States Army and Fort Sam Houston. So with that, I would call you as a fuck up of the week. You
Okay.
did not deal with a national emergency. Okay.
Okay.
Democrats,
Democrats.
do never, do never underestimate your ability to not know the pulse of this country.
Okay.
This country is for environmentalists, but it's not their top priority. This
Right.
country is pro human rights, but it's not its top priority.
Right.
You should be pondering on the fact that Tyson, one of the biggest food distributors in this country, has left this country. You should be pondering that uh, John Deere, who the president made an issue in 2017 that he has saved it from leaving, has left. You should be pondering that right now we are paying over 1/4 of everything that is aluminum in this country. Not that there's too many products made out of aluminum in this country, because there's not. Okay, I'm being sarcastic. There are a lot. You're paying at least 30% more because of the stupid tariffs.
Right.
You should be pondering that President Taco uh, is just screwing with the economy. And yes, you don't care about the Dow Jones, and you don't care about that's not it. But when companies are leaving, when companies are saying I cannot do business in this country, when when Canada decided we're going to, instead of selling our aluminum to the U.S., we're going to sell to Africa, we're going to sell to Europe. That's going to, at the long run, it's going to affect us. That's what you should be pondering on, not
And
the woke bullshit that you keep pondering on.
and I have to agree with you because I'm tired of the performative speeches and going to El Salvador or Alligator Alcatraz. I want to hear about exactly what you're talking about, Jimmy. Those kitchen table issues that me, my family, my neighbors, my community are talking about. Yes, I get it. Those other things are a concern. However, they're not a concern when you're trying to feed your family, feed yourself, pay your bills, get to work safely, come home safely, send your kids to school, and hope that they're being taught, the basics. And so yeah, I have to agree with you there. I want to hear more about, you know, why Tyson. Again, it blows my mind, Jimmy. Why Tyson is leaving the United States and taking those jobs with him. Why this is happening in Texas. Why FEMA is reducing let me say this: the Trump administration is reducing funding to FEMA here in Florida and everywhere else in the midst of hurricane season. That's the conversations I want to hear more and more of.
Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. The
Okay.
SBA, who used to give you loans after an emergency,
Yes,
that's been cut.
that's correct.
So if you need
Oh,
a
good.
loan after this to repair your roof, it's not going
Mm-mm.
to come from the SBA. Well, with that in mind, we will be back next week. But Democrats, grow a pair of balls. Republicans, stop lying to the people. And people, immigrants are not your problem. Your problem are corrupt politicians in Washington, D.C., and stop re electing them. I'll see you next week. Take care. Have
All
fun.
right, Jimmy.
Comment, comment, subscribe. Even say that I'm a jerk. You know, I really like that because that makes me feel really good. Because that means I'm doing my job. I'm pissing off somebody who thinks different from me.
There you are.
Take care.
Thanks, Jimmy. Take care. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll see you the next time.
Okay, from the margins.